everybody. I'm going to get right into the reading today because we don't have a lot of time, and I want to leave a lot of time for this reading. I've already done my prayers, and in the pre-shuffle, these cards came out. We got mind control, organized crime, beach, mountains, again with this beach and mountains business, and life insurance. And I picked up on a mother and a father. Okay, so I'm doing this to investigate this recurring theme I have in my dreams about constantly taking a train to Quebec. In the dream, I'm a little girl and I'm sleeping. They put me to sleep in this little like compartment thing. It's like, it looks like a little rectangle, and it's small. It's like just big enough for me to sleep in, and it's like, I don't know, I would say maybe 3 feet by like 4 feet. And they slide this curtain across, or kind of thing, curtain kind of thing, I don't know. Anyway, they tell me to go to sleep. There's luggage, and that's all I remember. Now, I remember having this memory as a child, and when I asked about it, no one knew anything about what I was talking about. So again, this is the only memory I have, is we were on a train. I know we were going to Quebec. I know that I was put to sleep in some sort of little compartment, or, you know, maybe this is just a dream, I don't know. And that's all I know. So anyways, I am wanting to do an investigation on this dream. Okay. So what do we got right now? We have the Star in reverse. We have overindulgence, gossiping, bitchiness, lack of social life, hopelessness, despair, focusing on negative. Okay. Overindulgence, bitchiness, lack of social life, hopelessness, despair, boredom, lack of creativity, lack of inspiration, lack of faith. We have the Chariot, which is travel, victory, and success. Then we have the Moon, it's all about illusions and secrets. We have transitioning to calmer waters, and then we have the Empress. So I feel like this is energy that is traveling and sort of changing as it goes. Okay, so I feel like this is the energy of a person who started off in this sort of negative energy, low self-esteem, feeling hopeless, in a really bad spot, you know what I mean? They were overindulging, maybe people were gossiping about them, maybe they didn't have a social life, maybe they were a bitchy person, maybe they were gossiping themselves, who knows? Then we have this like traveling and secrets, traveling and secrets, and then moving to calmer waters, and then Empress energy. So it's like someone went from this energy to moving away from negative energy, uncovering secrets, then moving to calmer waters and entering into their Empress energy, or transmuting this negative into a positive. So someone started off in this energy and they ended up in this energy. And sorry, when I was doing the pre-shuffle, I don't know if I said this. Yeah, I think I said it already. I got mind control, organized crime, beach, mountains, and life insurance. Okay. So, what I feel like this has to do with, okay, and this is what I'm hearing in my mind, is someone traveled, 3 people took a trip to put someone in a state of mind control where they would be in this negative, lacking energy. Okay, so someone took a trip somewhere to to an organization or to somewhere, I don't know, someone traveled somewhere to have their child put under some kind of like MK Ultra shit, or like, I don't know, some kind of drugs, or some kind of hypnosis or something. Maybe they traveled to get spell work done on them, to create some sort of illusions of this lack mindset, and then to keep them surrounded by people who would be in this negative energy here, because this is all about friendship, right? This card is all about friendship, but it was in the reverse. So they wanted to keep them not only having a lack of creativity, a lack of, like, just an overall lack of happiness, right? They also wanted to make sure that their friends kept them in that state. So they were constantly surrounded by negative people, right? So they traveled in order to create some sort of an illusion. And they were victorious with this for a time. They did succeed in keeping this person in an illusion. But this person broke the illusion somehow. And now they're in this Empress energy. And I'm not sure what the mountains and the beach have to do with it. Maybe there's a spot in Quebec where there's mountains and a beach nearby. I have no idea. I've only ever been to Quebec twice. Once was with an ex who did Muay Thai, and that's the only place in Canada where it's legally, where full contact Muay Thai is allowed, so we had to go there. And we literally went there, did the fight, and left. Like, I didn't get to see the city, like nothing. I just remember being on highways and then being in a ring, outside of a ring, watching a fight where he knocked out the guy in the first round. So it was like, we didn't even get to stay for anything. And then we just turned around and left, right? And then the only other time I've been to Quebec was as a graduation gift. My girlfriend's mother brought us to Mont Tremblant for Jazz Week, or the Jazz Festival, which was actually pretty cool. So that's the only mountains I'm aware of, and mountain I'm aware of in Quebec is Mont Tremblant. So I couldn't tell you anything more about that. I don't know what the beach and the mountains have to do with it. Although I can say when this memory happened, I would have been at the age where I was living in Wasaga Beach. And it's interesting too, because in this picture here they're literally on a beach. They're literally on like what it looks like a little island, and there's beach right there. Interesting. Anyways, and the other card I pulled was life insurance. So I don't know what in the heck life insurance has to do with any of this. But someone, again, this could just be a dream. I don't know. When I was little, I thought it was a memory, but it keeps coming up over and over and over. I keep having these dreams about traveling to Quebec, and not just that dream, but like other dreams where I'm just, randomly with people, and we're going to Quebec, or I will say things in my dreams like, oh, I can't wait to go back to Quebec. I'd love to go to Quebec sometime, or like stuff like that. And it's just very odd because it's not something that I would normally say, like it's odd that it keeps coming up. So that's why I'm doing an investigative thing on this. I feel like maybe this applies to someone else. Maybe there's a message in this for someone. I don't know. Anyway, so someone might have been brought to Quebec when they were little in some sort of attempt to bring them somewhere to get them under control of the mind somehow. We have Curiosity, Page of Swords, and then we have the Hierophant in reverse. Challenging traditional, unconventional lifestyles, non-conformity, and then we have delayed news, patience needed, ideas, inspiration, planning. one who is calculating and unconcerned with the feelings of others. The Hierophant I always regard as like a teacher or a practitioner, okay? So when they're in the upright, I view them as a teacher. When they're in the reverse, I view them as a practitioner. So we have a practitioner, and then we have someone who is unconcerned with the feelings of others. And then again, we got organized crime. So, I mean, definitely there was more than one person in on this, right? So someone was brought somewhere. They were brought to Quebec. Someone was brought to Quebec. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say by train, because that's what the scenes of my dreams always been. It's always on a train. They were brought there when they were little, in some attempts to keep their mind controlled. What I would like to know, Spirit, is why. Why were they brought there? Why did these parents want the mind controlled of this little child? Why did they want this child under some sort of mind control, Spirit? Why did they want them under mind control? Maybe so, okay, so what I just heard in my head was so that they didn't become the Empress. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, but why? Like, what difference does that make? Most parents would be happy that their children went into that kind of energy. Do you know what I'm saying? So why? Intuition, loss, and the Knight of Cups, creative expression, romantic proposals, sadness, loss, grief, despair, love, comfort, kindness, intuition. Because they were trying to stop a connection? So there's a romantic connection here, and they were trying to get in between it by causing trauma, grief, loss, or despair. They wanted this person, like, they didn't want them to fall in love. They didn't want them to get married. Like, what? So they didn't want them. They wanted to get in between them and their romantic partner. And what does life insurance have to do with it? I mean, I see the sadness, loss, and grief and despair thing, and I'm thinking, did they want to unlive this person? But, like, why would they go to all the trouble of taking you all the way to freaking... Like, I don't understand what the point of that was. It would have been much easier to just, like, you know, unalive you than to take you all the way to Montreal. We have a group of conflicts. Conflict is going on. Again, with the why, I don't understand. So they took you all the way to Montreal. I don't know why I'm saying Montreal. That did not come up in my dreams at all. So maybe it is Montreal. I don't know. They took you all the way there because they wanted you to keep you from getting into this Empress energy and keep you apart from your person. They wanted to get in between you and your person. They didn't want you to be married. They didn't want you to be happy. They didn't want you to have love. And this card is all about intuition, psychic. It's a love, comfort, kindness, intuition, a sensitive, thoughtful, introverted, cooperative, quiet, dreamy, imaginative, psychic. Someone interested in learning about emotional issues. So they didn't want you to get your powers. Why didn't they want you to get your powers? Because they knew, and now it's causing conflict. Okay, so I asked why, and we have conflict. Conflict, fighting, arguments, rows, disagreements, struggle, opposition, battles, aggression, temper, clashing, personalities, chaos, disobedience, being defensive, territorial, and assertive. Because your psychic powers were going to bring conflict to them? But if they hadn't done it in the first place, there wouldn't have been a problem. So what's... Like, I don't understand. Okay, anyways, let's keep going. Oh, okay then. We have... These both came out sideways. And they came out right beside this card. So we're gonna... So there was... We have materialism, dullness, preoccupation with money, one who mismanaged money, someone who will do anything for money, lacking balance, lacking organization, poor financial decisions. So this is the energy they wanted for you, and the energy they wanted for themselves was successful, wealthy, bettering yourself, empire, thriving, high status, stability. Someone preoccupied with financial matters, profit and loss, income and outgoings, financial decisions, balance, resourcefulness, ups and downs, adaptability, flexibility, juggling life, juggling money. Okay. So this is all about balance and security. So they didn't want you to have any balance and security because if you did, they wouldn't? How does that make any sense? Again, we have life insurance. I don't understand. I just don't understand what the whole point of doing the mind control in the first place was. Oh, unpaid bills, bad debts, greed, selfishness, stinginess, miserliness, seizing opportunities, end of stagnation, and then returning from travel. Bad timing, losing momentum. So by going, they were going because they didn't have any. They had unpaid bills, and so they were seizing an opportunity to make some money. What? Okay, Spirit, what does this life insurance have to do with anything, and why did they do it in the first place? Like, what? How were they getting paid to do this? So I feel like they got paid. They were like, bring your kid here, and we'll do this, and we'll give you money if you let us do this. But why? 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 Fear, anxiety, terror, negative, deep unhappiness, stress, burden, overwhelmed, at a breaking point, inability to cope or face life, mental anguish, guilt, regret, remorse, focusing on the past, subject of gossip. Because they saw it as the light at the end of the tunnel to improve their life. Because they were afraid of you? They were afraid of you. Why the fuck were they afraid of you? I don't know about y'all, but I'm more confused than I was in the beginning. Why were they afraid? Spirit, why were they afraid of you, Spirit? Why were they afraid of this child, spirits? Why were they afraid of this child? Because the child would unmask them. They were trying to escape their because they were deceitful, they had lied, they were cheaters, they were thieves, they participated in dangerous and risky behavior. They pretended to like you, but they didn't. They had a lack of conscience. Resourceful, flexible, escaping interconnection. So this is like really like they were stealing. They were stealing from you. Okay, now we're getting into it. But they were stealing from you. So they were stealing from you, and they didn't want you to find out because they knew you were gifted. So they brought you somewhere to have you put under some kind of spell to keep you in a lower frequency so that you couldn't, so that your powers, I guess your abilities would go away and you would never, like, you wouldn't have the opportunity to develop them from childhood. So you would, so basically they just wanted to stop you from being able to figure it out. They didn't want to be called out on their bad behavior. They knew they were doing some shisty stuff, and they didn't want to be called, they didn't want to be found out. They knew that you would find out. Okay, so I just heard in my head, you said something to them that freaked them out. Okay, so you said something to them that freaked them out. And so they were trying to get you to forget that you had these powers. They were trying to get you to, like, somehow they just wanted to suppress your abilities or something. And they were stealing from you. What were they stealing? So, wow. Okay, so you accused, so okay, so you called them out on something. And now their worst fears are coming true. And you called them out, on, okay, so you called them out on this. This is nasty energy here. So this is the 5 of Swords, and we have defeat, surrender, change, walking away, self-sacrifice, self-sabotaging behavior. Then we have underhanded behavior, deception, lack of communication, aggression, and wait for this, bullying, intimidation, abuse, violence, crime, rape, unaliving, and assault. So they were participating in these kind of activities, and you called them out on it. And that was their worst fear coming true. And they thought by doing this, they were escaping ruin. They thought they were escaping it. They thought, okay, this is the only way we can get away with this shit. Like, we have to keep her under control so that she